He picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
But it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
Well, hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. It's good to see you all this morning. How was your weekend? Did you relax? Did you go anywhere? I did housework and research. There's lots going on right now. This BTK thing, ooh-wee. His daughter, Carrie, has backed off of social media. She's saying that things that are going on with her father's case, she just has to kind of back off. So that's kind of telling me that maybe when they did this last search at the old residence, maybe they came up with something. That's my thoughts. Now, if I remember correctly, this basically all started by somebody finding a nylon bondage piece at this old residence. So it sounds to me like once they seen this, they went digging and they found themselves, I think they called it a trophy hole. It was basically encased and then had shingles on top of that and then a cement sidewalk. I think that's what it was. I heard at one point that used to be his shed area. So if he's got all these little trophy holes, what the hell? I mean, what the hell? I was like, what? So let's see. I don't want to do that. I love this platform here, but I get busy on the other one. And then I got to come back here and retrain myself. So if there's a boo-boo, I apologize. So what do you think that this guy's back in the news? Did you expect this? Oh, my jazzy. What's going on here? Just trying to... Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Well, hey there, Shauna. Good to see you. My most favorite people. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to get back. You know what I did is I shut myself out, which is always a great thing to do first thing in the morning. Okay, just let's see here. There right now is literally so much. The fact, like I was saying, the fact that his daughter said that she's going to be backing off for a while kind of tells me that there's a good possibility that we're going to see some movement in this case. What do you guys think? Are they going to get him on more crimes? Is there more crimes? I'm not gonna, I mean, he was absolutely one of the sickest guys I've seen. Like the stuff that he was doing to these people. And I mean, he didn't have an age preference, did he? He was just an absolute parasite. So his daughter has gone to see him. She had not seen him for 18 years. So she decided, with all of these cases that are happening, that she was going to help the police. So after an 18-year hiatus from being around her father, she went there and tried to get him to talk about some of these other cases. And he basically just shut her down. You know, nothing was going to happen. And I think she went twice, she said. So we'll have to, it's one of those things that I think we're just going to have to wait and see, right? So I do have a few articles. Let's find my spot here. I think I'll move you up here. I think I'll move me down here. There we go. There we go. So let's take a boo, friends. He is pure evil. Pure evil. Absolutely. Carrie Ross and his daughter said he's just emancipated at this point. He's in a wheelchair. She said he's just like a mess. Which is, you know, karma's a biatch. So, inquiry into 1976 disappearance in Oklahoma and 1909 deletion in Missouri that led authorities to believe the deleter may be involved. So, these are some of the victims here. This is the Otero family, and the parents he wiped out, and he wiped out all the kids but one. And what he did in that house, there was a young girl. What he did, pure evil, like you said, James. So we've got Joseph Otero, Julie Otero, Catherine Bright, Shirley Vian, Dolores Davis, Vicky Wegerly, Maureen Hedge, and Nancy Fox. So if we look at this group of people, they're very different. Different ages, different nationalities, different hair color, some with glasses, some without. So Carrie Rawson's father is BTK, and he's serving 10 life terms in prison. But Carrie Rawson does not think authorities should give up investigating whether he deleted more people than they already know. The clearest indication that authorities strongly suspect more victims of Dennis Rader may await discovery came this week when police dug the ground near a Kansas home he lived in with his daughter. Authorities said they were searching for possible evidence linking Rader to a pair of decades-old unsolved deleting, including one for which he is considered the prime suspect. And the younger of Rader's two children made it clear she is fully supported police efforts. I hope we can solve these cases for the family, Rawson said in a statement posted on social media. They deserve all that we can give them. You know, she's brilliant. Her father was brilliant, but she's not using this. Oh, she's putting this to use. She is using all of her education that she has received basically because her dad's a Cheerio. And now she wants to help. With what's happening with Rex HEUERMANN, she was very much advocating for that family as people started to rip them apart. So there's going to be a trigger warning just due to what this man was out there doing for all that time. So if this is not your thing, it's probably time to deke out because, I'm going to do my best, but this guy did some really bad things. So let's see here. Investigation into the 1976 disappearance of 16-year-old Cynthia Kinney in Oklahoma and the 1990 murder of, Shauna Garber, 22, in Missouri, have thrust Radar in his BTK moniker for his method and the brutality. So back into the news headlines. So Kinney, a cheerleader from the community of, Wahuska in Osage County, I'm sure I just massacred that, in Oklahoma, was last seen in a laundromat. So just wait to see what's coming up here. Garber was found deleted about 2 months after she had been R-worded, restrained with various bindings, and that neck movement. Although her remains were not identified until 2021. DNA and cameras. Dara and I were talking about this morning. DNA and cameras have made a massive, massive difference. We're getting some help. So let's see here. Kinney's disappearance and Garber's deleting occurred within a 17-year period during which Rader acknowledged deleting 10 other people in Wichita between 1974 and 1991. 10, he's saying. I call BS. I hope I'm saying this right. Pahuska is about 90 miles or 145 kilometers south of Wichita, and authorities there have investigated Kinney's disappearance on and off. The office of Osage Sheriff Eddie Verdon most recently reopened the case in December. He told the Kansas television news station KAKE that one of the reasons his agency suspect Rader may have been involved is because a bank across the street from the laundromat where Kinney was last seen was getting new alarms installed at the time. Rader is the one who installed the alarms across that region for the company now known as ADT Security Services. Verdon stopped short of saying it was Radar himself who installed the alarms at the bank near where Kinney was last seen, but his office has dedicated to take a closer look because the ominous phrase "bad laundry day" appeared in some of Radar's writing. You know what? This is the problem. He was writing in these little journals that he kept about these fantasies that he was having. And these fantasies are very much like what happened with Miss Kinney. So Rader has also claimed that he fantasized about taking a girl from a laundromat, Verdon said. In remarks to the Kansas news station KWCH about an interview he conducted with Rader in prison. The investigation brought Osage deputies into contact with their counterparts in other jurisdictions, including the office of McDonald County, Missouri Sheriff Rob Evanson, who subordinates are in charge of figuring out who bound and deleted Garber. Evanson really recently suggested to the Missouri TV News station KSNF that he had also spoken directly to Rader about Garber, though Rader denied having any involvement in her deleting. Nonetheless, Evanson said he was hopeful that the investigation brought on by those revisiting Kinney's disappearance would find evidence that will help solve Garber's case. So we have to remember, regardless of what this guy says, he is a psychopath. Psychopaths are not known to be honest. They're known to be able to say whatever the hell they want. And, yeah, whatever the hell they want. Oh, that video. Oh my God, Dandy, that was so awesome. I want to babysit. Oh my God, Nancy. Oh my God, woman. So, a statement from the Osage County Sheriff, Gary Upton, later announced the deputies have recovered items of interest, but did not elaborate beyond saying they would be examined thoroughly for potential relevance to the investigations. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to show that binding that was made out of nylon, which that's something he used quite commonly for binding. On the social media platform X, previously known as Twitter, Carrie Rawson shared additional details, writing, "Binding type items found underground in my old yard where I grew up, not far from where the swing set used to be." Okay. Verdon, in separate remarks to Cake, said some of the items were deeply buried. He also said that prior excavation in April had turned up other items, along with a pair of aged, ripped pantyhose. It was very, very clear someone had created this hole and refilled it with different material, Verdon said. He took some precautions to kind of protect some of those items. The flurry of activity came nearly 2 decades after Radar's arrest in February 2005. Damn, that was a good day. A relatively short while being... A relatively short while before that, he had resumed communications with the police and media after going silent for years amid a public frenzy. Radar captured occurrence after he sent a letter to the Wichita Eagle newspaper. So, I honestly, this is like, what? Which contained photos of a 1986 victim along with a copy of her missing driver's license. Other messages and packages followed, including a disc, which was traced to Radar's church, where he once served as president. So, I mean, he literally said to the law, so if I send you like a floppy disk, will you be able to trace me? And they're like, no. So he believes them. God only knows why. He believes them, this man, and sends them a floppy disk. So, yeah, boom. Boom. Ultimately, Radar, who's now 78, did receive 10 consecutive life prison terms for each unaliving, to which he confessed. Kansas did not have the DP at the time of the deleting. His earliest date to qualify for parole is 2180, when he would be 235 years old. Yeah, so he's 70, what is he? Yeah, 78 now? Let's see if he can make it to 80. I'm having my doubts for whatever reason. No, I didn't. I'm just looking in Discord here for a second. I had no idea, Mexi. That sounds very interesting. Thank you. Anybody that is interested in me looking at a case, feel free, send it to my Discord, like straight to me. My email address is down below. And a lot of times you can catch me on Twitter. So if you have anything that you think might need to get out there a little bit, send it on. I have absolutely no problem doing lives for some of these cases that everybody else is ignoring. You know, it seems as if it's not something that has been caught on by the media in a big way. The cases don't get looked at. So we know just because this is BTK, you're going to see videos out your yin-yang on this stuff. So watch as many as you can. Share mine, please. Like and subscribe. There is a wonderful family that is growing here. And trust me, you don't want to miss them. They great people. I'm telling you. So, let's see here. Even the structure of Radar's punishment means he won't live enough to even get a chance for an early release. His daughter pushed authorities to continue working to connect him to any other deleting he has a hand in, according to the statement she recently released. She is an awesome advocate. So it says Rawson's statement said she became aware in January that the Osage Sheriff Office was reinvestigating Kinney's disappearance. And in June, she learned that McDonald's Sheriff's Office was taking a closer look at the Garber case, prompting her to call and volunteer her assistance. She said that McDonald deputies put her in touch with their counterparts in Osage who flew her in to help. That assistance has involved lifting a do not contact order that she had successfully filed against Radar, so she could meet with him in prison 2 times. Carrie Rawson said authorities offered to grant Radar immunity from further prosecution in exchange for revealing where he carried out other violent crimes. I mean, does he care? Probably not. They can offer him the moon. He's still not going anywhere. They just want some peace for some of these families that need the peace. I could not imagine not knowing where my child is. I could not imagine. So she told News Nation that Radar didn't cooperate. We're coming up against a man that's playing a lot of games, she said. She also said that her father now moves around in a wheelchair and has lost like 7 inches in height during his imprisonment. As she saw it, he's pretty much rotting to his core, she said. So, it's not going great. I don't think he's eating all of his Cheerios, the Cheerio. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, the legendary floppy disk. Barbie Jeep. Oh, what a case, James. Some Cheerios, I'm thinking the Moors deleting Brady, used unsolved crimes as a tool, a kind of final power play against the law right to the very end. Yep, they don't give. Look at Bundy did the same type of thing. The legendary floppy disk. Yes, be honest. From a Fruit Loop. Totally. Oh, he was, James. And he was mad at law for lying and tricking him. Why'd you lie to me? Because you're insane, you sick-ish. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Yeah. He honestly did. He acted like he got his feelings hurt. You lied to me. How could you? Thank you, Shauna. Hit that thumb, show the love, y'all. Appreciate that, friend. Yeah, you're not fair. I don't want to be your friend no more. So unfair, so unjust. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, my word. Oh, Osage County investigating into BTK continues. Oh, I know, right? He couldn't believe that cops lie. Like, are you kidding me? And he's supposed to be a pretty smart man. Yeah, they lied to me. What? I want my name on the big screen. Look at me. I'm scary. Oh my God. These people. So let's take a look here. Let's see if I can get rid of this thing. And I don't know. Does it need a bump up? Let's do that. Yeah. What he has done not only to the victims, which is mortifying, look what he's done to his family.
We're learning more about a recent trip from Oklahoma authorities to Kansas as they try to find more evidence linking BTK Dennis Rader to an unsolved case. The Osage County, Oklahoma sheriff tells us that they were in Park City yesterday. They also visited parts of Sedgwick County as they try to tie Rader to the 1976 disappearance of Cynthia Kinney. The sheriff tells us no physical evidence was found during yesterday's search.
We found nothing yesterday that we feel would be relevant as far as evidence. Again, you know, there's items and locations that we believe there still could be some things.
The sheriff does say that they feel like they did make some connections with people that could help further their investigation into Kinney's disappearance. Dennis Rader was convicted of killing 10 people in the Wichita area from the 1970s to the 90s. Now 18 years after being sent to prison for the rest of his life, he has resurfaced again, but not on his own accord. Brandon instead takes us through how we're now back on the BTK beat.
I find it so noble, I guess, that Carrie Rawson is willing to do everything she can to, I don't know, I think she feels her father's guilt, and it's heartbreaking.
We all thought the story of BTK was over in 2005, but the Osage County Sheriff in Oklahoma had another thing in mind. When he started digging into the 1976 disappearance of Cynthia Kinney from a Pawhuska laundromat, it would take them back to the beginning of a BTK history book, literally.
BTK is arrested.
It was a monumental time in 2005 when Chief Norman Williams announced to the nation that serial killer BTK had been arrested. We followed his chilling courtroom confessions.
I broke into the house and waited for her to come home.
And watched as he walked into prison, where we thought the story had come to a close. Until this week, when Osage County Sheriff Eddie Verdon shocked us all by naming the notorious serial killer as a prime suspect in a 47-year-old cold case.
Right now, he's, 100% the suspect.
This conclusion came first after a conversation with Rader.
He said, "Do you want to know about a fantasy I had that I never got to do?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And he said, "I always wanted to kidnap a girl from a laundromat."
Then searches in fields, and eventually finding items on the property where Rader once lived in Park City.
We found some personal items and some other things of interest in that location.
And the sheriff wasn't stopping there. While looking into the case files from Wichita, he found information that could connect Rader to more than just his cold case.
Through that information,
I just think this is the best thing ever. I don't quite know how they're finding what they need to find, but I mean, like I said, the more of these that we can have solved for these families, the better. And I think Rader's numbers are going to go up high, sky high.
that led us to other things, other crimes, from his writings that we believe he could have been involved with.
Other crimes, including the 1990 rape and murder of Shauna Garber in McDonald County, Missouri. With this new attention on Rader, it's hope for the new families, and not a surprise for those that have already been through it.
It doesn't surprise me. I've always believed that there's more to the story than what he has mentioned, and this is...
So this is the only survivor of the Otero family. He went home from where, I can't quite remember what he was doing, but he got home and he found his family brutalized. The fact that this guy is still going strong and, you know, he seems to be alcohol. He doesn't seem to be in the addicted realm. And what he walked into, what BTK did to his family, oh my God.
It just goes to show that you cannot believe a pathological liar on anything he says.
You can watch my entire interview with the Osage County Sheriff right now on the KWCH app. In it, he goes into detail of why he's 100% certain BTK is the prime suspect in the disappearance of Cynthia Kinney.
Wow. I mean, I do believe they've got all sorts of stuff on him. What's going on here? Yeah, I just do not hear anything from the son. Oh my goodness, it looked like you guys were having so much fun, Dandy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's gross. He's just gross. Well, hello, Angela. Good to see you, friend. You're very smart. I know you are. Oh, did someone gift you a membership? Well, welcome. Well, welcome. I'm going to say possibly Mexi. Welcome to the family, my friend. Yeah, this is the thing. Did he prey on children? So he lied about his own code of conduct. Very, very true. The one Otero girl, and I don't know if you guys have researched that particular case, but what he did was, it was so bad. It was so bad. So let's see here. So yeah, Dennis Rader named prime suspect in 2 cold cases. Let's take a peek, guys. So new evidence tying the self-styled BTK Cheerio to at least 2 more unsolved deletions led authorities this week to dig up the former Kansas home of Dennis Rader, whose infamous deleting spree spanned 27 years. He's 78 now, and see here, he remains in prison serving 10 consecutive life sentences after he was convicted in 2005 of deleting 10 people from 1974 to 1991. Like I said, personally, I believe there's more. But this week, the Osage County Sheriff's Office in Oklahoma announced Rader is now the prime suspect in the disappearance of a woman and teenager who vanished during the years he was deleting. The primary focus of Tuesday's search was tied to the 1976 disappearance of Cynthia Kinney, who was 16 years old, a cheerleader from, I think it's Pawhuska, Oklahoma. The sheriff's office said in a news release Wednesday. Investigators were also able to connect Rader to the slaying of a 22-year-old Shauna Beth Garber in the McDonald County, Missouri. Osage County Undersheriff Gary Upton told USA Today. Garber's remains weren't identified in 2021, was found in December of 1990, having been attacked, restrained. Search uncovers items of interest. So I was also told, I'm going to go by what Carrie says, but I was also told that he had a shed in this area as well. So I'm not sure if that means they dig up more or if they found what they were looking for, but they did make it sound like they didn't get a lot, if we believe what they say. Using shovels, metal detectors, and other tools, investigators led by Osage County Sheriff Eddie Verdon searched the land at Rader's former home for items of evidentiary value based on specific leads. The sheriff's office said in a news release. Officials in Parkland City also allowed for city news crews to tear up concrete. City crews, not news crews, to tear up concrete sidewalks poured in the years since Rader had been imprisoned to allow investigators to search underneath. The agency originally had visited the property in April. Upton said in a preliminary dig led investigators to find the pantyhose ligature tied in a knot, which would be consistent with someone being bound at the ankles or wrists. The sheriff's office said the more recent search Tuesday led investigators to find items of interest, which Upton said appeared to be personal effects that would belong to a victim. What? Upton declined to be more specific about what specifically was found. Nice. So they're going to undergo a thorough examination just to determine if they are indeed relevant to the investigation. So this is Cynthia Dawn Kinney. Investigators are working to determine if BTK SK Dennis Rader was behind the 1976 disappearance of Cynthia Kinney, and others vanished or were deleted during the years of his spree. So, Cynthia Kinney's case was reopened in December after Upton said Verdon, Upton said Verdon, the Osage County Sheriff, interview Rader had at the El Dorado Correctional Facility in Kansas. As Verdon was leaving the interview after hours of discussion, Upton said that convicted deleter made an unsolicited suggestion that he had once abducted a girl from a laundromat. The comment prompted the sheriff to further investigate Kinney's disappearance, who was last seen at a laundromat. Yeah. 1976 entry in Radar's journals obtained by investigators included a phrase, "bad wash day." Upton said the excerpt from Radar's Radar's writing provided to US Today makes mention of a laundromat, which Radar called a good place to watch victims and dream. Because Radar was a regional installer for ADT's security system at the time, investigators also believe it's possible Radar was installing security footage at the bank being built across the street from the teen's home. So that makes it easier for him to watch. At the sheriff's office, as the sheriff's office re-examines whether Radar was responsible for additional missing person cases and unsolved deleting, Upton said Verdon remained in Kansas on Thursday to follow up on another investigatory. I can't say it today. Though the sheriff's office said in the release it was working closely with the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, it's unclear how many other missing persons and deletion cases are going to be re-examined. Ole. Ole, guys. My word. Let's see here. Oh, you guys, so nice. Oh, is that right? Thank you. Mexi, Bruja, or Copper Horse gifted the membership. Has Miss Ramsland said anything on it? Yes. All she has really said is that she will not be... Twitter is where she goes and does her updates, and that's the platform she uses, and I follow her. So this morning, what I read was that she is taking a break from social media until these cases involving her father are finished. So I think she's believing that he could very well be guilty of these. Yeah. Yeah. His Niagara Falls off. Yep. Wasn't that something? Absolutely disgusting, James. Yep. People would pay to see that stuff. Yeah. That house was sold quite a while ago. Oh, Ashes to Ashes. Good to see you. Okay. I believe FarQ might have been the gifter of your membership. Our neighborhood Aussie is good peeps. I swear, like, this, just the best group ever. I know I say it a lot, but I truly mean it. If you're not a member, subscribe, hit that bell, because I do tend to just randomly come on live. I like to do morning ones, but then in the evening, sometimes something will happen, or in the afternoon that I'm like, ooh, and back on I'll go. Oh, okay. Mexi Texi gifted 1, the Think Tank membership. Thank you so much. Oh, LJD3, good to see you. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Ashes to Ashes. If you gift things on, usually the memberships are gifted at a random by YouTube. So do they medicate serials in jail? The urges just don't go away. So yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, the problem is, they can do where they cut parts off, but what happens then is they find objects to use, because it's not fixing the brain. It's just fixing that particular tool. So I don't know if that's the way. Oh my God, Angela. I feel so sorry for her. So do I. You know, she is a very, very strong lady, highly educated. Her father being BTK has absolutely made her want to learn about people that are broken like this. And she has. And now she has turned herself into an advocate. LJD3. Welcome, welcome. Interesting question, Darlene. I would suspect that they would only medicate him if they had some diagnosis that needed the meds. Absolutely. But, you know, I think if they're unruly, I think that might be legal, Mexi. Yeah, I do believe that's legal. I don't quite know how they do it. I think before it was like a chop-off surgery type thing. Yeah, exactly, James. Exactly. And sadly, it doesn't do the job, you know, because the sick minds are still there. They're not fixing that sick head that they've got on them. Let's take a look here. Oklahoma authorities named BTK as the prime suspect. There's a lot of repetition for sure, but you know what? There's also information in every single one of these. You get your tidbits. So again, he's prime suspect in 2 unsolved deleting in Oklahoma and another one in Missouri. They dug up his Kansas City property in Park City, and it's going to be interesting to see what they found. Cynthia Kinney was a 16-year-old cheerleader. She was young. He does not or did not seem to have a particular taste. He just was deviant-minded when it comes to anybody, I do believe. Again, they're saying that they believe that he was possibly installing those alarms and may have noticed her. He was also involved in the Boy Scouts in the area. Verdon said he decided to investigate when he learned that Radar had included the phrase Bad Laundry Day in his writings. So, absolutely. I mean, he has said that he has those interests. He's gone right out and said, this is my proclivity. So, there's not going to be 1974 to 1991, 10? A man with this kind of mind? I mean, again, I'm not educated on this. This is just basically, it's my uneducated opinion. But I do believe they're going to find more. 10, possibly 12. In that many years? Oh my word. It's scary. Shauna Beth Garber was also discovered in December of 1990 in McDonald County, Missouri. She had been R-worded, she had been the neck and restrained with different bindings before she was found in 2021. And he came up with his own BTK. He decided that that moniker suited him. So a city code inspector in Kansas, he was arrested in February 2005 after a year resuming communications with the police and the media after going silent for years. And this is when he sent the floppy disk. Traced him to the church. And boom. 78 years old. And look at this span. Like, I believe, I mean, he was installing, that is a traveling type job. So possibly anywhere that was close, within maybe 100 miles, I would honestly say if he's worked there, they got to look. 2180 is when they would let him out of the Hooskow. That's still too early. So they're saying on this one that there is no direct evidence yet. But we just heard that there possibly is. So again, we're going to have to see. Upton declined to say how many other cases and deleting cases are being re-examined, but said that Radar could be a suspect in more cases. No information has been released yet. What the Search Tuesday in Park City uncovered, Upton described the discoveries only as items of interest in a news release. The release said the items would undergo a thorough examination to determine their potential relevance. Verdon told Cake TV that some items were deeply buried. He also said that some items were found during a previous excavation on that property in April, including a piece of aged rip pantyhose, and that's the one that looked like, well, it was a binding. Upton said his department is working with The Kansas Bureau of Investigation Agency and the spokeswoman, Melissa Underwood, confirmed meeting with the sheriff's office about the investigation, but said KBI wasn't involved in the recent property searches. Phil Bostian, the police chief in Wichita suburb of Park City, told Cake TV that Osage County called them as a courtesy and said they asked Public Works to remove some of the cement and do some digging. Police there didn't immediately return a phone message from AP seeking comment. Kansas State Board of Indigence Defense didn't immediately return a phone call about whether Radar still has an attorney. I do believe the attorney he used for his other case, I think he passed away, if I remember correctly. So he might just, use what everybody else does. So will he get a lawyer? Like, what's his face? Koberger? Let's see what happens there. Huh. You know how disturbing I find that. Everybody deserves the same level of, oh my goodness. The defense should all be the same as far as that goes. They shouldn't have these new rookies put on big cases. And they do. So, his daughter, Carrie Rawson, told the Wichita Eagle that she worked with investigators this summer by meeting with her father in prison and communicating with him for the first time in years. She told Fox News that she believes investigators were looking for items related to unsolved cases that Rader may have buried on his property under a metal shed he built. The shed and Rader's former home have been leveled. Rawson said he also told investigators to check where Rader buried the family dog. Oh, good thinking. Very good thinking. She said she hopes investigators can determine if her father is linked to any of these other cases. I'm still not 100% sure my dad did commit anymore at this point, she said to the newspaper, adding, if my dad has harmed anybody else, we need answers. Yeah. Unreal, eh? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sadly, it doesn't help the mind, does it, Dar? Yeah. And he was always on the move. So, yeah, they got to check these spots out because I don't think it would take much. There's no 10 in all of those years. No. I can't see it. It's like, what? I have a huge dislike for this guy. He ruined countless lives, and the survivors, the children, were left to pick up shattered pieces. They're all still struggling. Well said. Well said. No, and that's not fair. It's not. He has ruined the lives of countless people. Those family members, not only this generation, but even the next. You know, knowing that that's in your family, not good. Not good for anybody. I don't know. I just don't know how they do it. I guess it's no choice, right? No choice. It's sink or swim. And you cannot own what a family member does. And because they did it, does not mean that that has been passed down and you're going to be the same. No. Exactly, James. Psychopaths are rarely fair. Nothing but themselves matter. And that's the thing. 1000%. That's something that Carrie was saying. Like, it is her dad, but he's a psychopath. You know, and when I see people kind of bully her, it does. It rubs me really, really wrong because she does all of this advocating now and does whatever she can to help law enforcement. She knows what he did. And I do believe she carries the weight. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for everybody. So now we sit back and we wait to see, are these two girls also going to turn out to be some more of his victims? And I hope they start checking his DNA against a lot more. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I am going to call us and do some more research. I might do another live later in the day about James Burke. Oh my God, guys. I've been deep diving, and I tell you what, the corruption, it ran deep. It ran so deep. I think we're going to have to take another look. So guys, thanks for spending your time with me this morning. I appreciate you. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.